Greetings from another episode. I haven't looked at the previous statement yet, but what if I do log in and see if a paycheck has been delivered? I'm going to feel much better when I get to the old bank account, but I'm even more delighted because it's a 3-day weekend rather than payday. I won't allow it to spoil the mood because we have some incredible news to share with you all, people. The market appears to be primed for action. Your eyes on the overall market capitalization of cryptocurrencies, but more significantly, you're going to become enthused about what I'm going to reveal, which is that XRP is poised to make a significant jump. One of my friends sent me a message last night, although I don't want to call him a friend. However, he's a friend of mine, I suppose. A whale, someone with extensive market knowledge, just bought 1 million XRP. He hasn't purchased any XRP in a long time. When he last purchased a cryptocurrency, it took off like a rocket. The fact that he told me to fill up on my XRP could mean that an XRP is about to accelerate because this bottom position has been reached. I will go through a chart. You're going to like what you're seeing for short-term price statistics. Next, we'll discuss the Bitcoin surge, and you can guess who is collaborating. Swift, Ripple, and Citi. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I have a clip that will blow you away. Right now, Bitcoin is down 9%. $523 for Ethereum, yielding $2,836 with a 1.5% increase over the last day. Both the USDT and USDC are returning to their dollar pegs, just where we want them to be. XRP is leading the way higher with a 4.35% increase. Arriving at 57 people, I'd love to see it. In case you haven't been paying attention, the cryptocurrency market cap is currently at $1 trillion, with $987 billion remaining. We have surpassed that amount and now own $2 trillion. We are entering a bull market and are coming closer to that elusive number every single day. Please have a look at this, since it represents the people that Lux Lion has chosen to work with. You may be able to identify a few of these businesses. They possessed a token that was worth over $100, called Infinity. I informed you that TDN was launching a token, and if you haven't purchased one yet, I don't know what you're doing. The token is still in its infancy and is being sold in NFTs that are locked up until we are placed on the exchange next week. You will have to wait after that for the listing on the exchange, and you will obtain it. This will already be a utility payment token, regardless of the cost. Substantial collaborations in the transaction. However, what are you seeing here, Lux Lions people? Who else do you recognize on this? Consider a chain link. Yes, it is correct. How about Cool Cats? I mean, come on, who doesn't know who Cool Cats is these days? Among the largest NFT initiatives on the Ethereum blockchain, they were the first to be included in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We collaborate with the same team, which includes the former CTO of Cool Cats who helped them become well-known, and now Lux Lions has that partnership. And you don't own any for an unknown reason. NFTs are awesome kits that cost $2,500. If you purchase $3,000 worth of Lux Lions directly from us on the floor, we're still only $165. Cost is 2.5 times, 3 times, and occasionally 10 times for many people. We take XRP or credit cards rip. I pay attention. You simply told us before you started, so even though I want to participate in your project, I don't want to donate my XRP to it. XRP was traveling to the moon with this video. Not need to use a credit card for payment. Place the small wallet inside the memo. Notes, so I'm aware of the NFT's recipient. Begin filling up, and on the first of each month, I return the favor. XRP to your wallet only for holding it for real. The answer is no. No other project is doing this, and no other project has traction like this. The most recent surge in Bitcoin is unique since it is increasing in tandem with the US dollar, as well as treasury yields. Bitcoin has recorded a double-digit increase. It claims that Bitcoin's most recent advance above 50,000 runs counter to its history of posting significant gains. which have typically occurred during periods of weakness in the dollar index and treasury yields while disregarding the strength in the dollar index and treasury yields. Normally, when there is weakness in the index and the treasury yields, we don't see this, and the price of Bitcoin drops. However, this time, it seems a little different because the price of Bitcoin is rising. According to one observer, we might be witnessing safe demand for Bitcoin from places like China and Nigeria. With the approximately 35% increase in Bitcoin since January 23rd, the bears are being destroyed. People are still shouting outside while bears are being dragged. $3,000 to $10,000 in Bitcoin. I wish they would freaking lock in the 20% probability that, by the end of April, Bitcoin will surpass 70,000. Before it ever happens, people are thinking of an all-time high. Can you picture the consequences if that occurs? We cryptocurrency owners are going to have a fantastic year in 2024, and I can't wait. Hold on, this is the video I want to play. To you, and if you wish to have a positive morning start, there has to be a better way than doing this, as far as I can see. This is where the convergence is occurring. Podcast New Trains to New Planets Construction, including cutting-edge global payment infrastructures together. You have the head of digital assets for the Citi, the head of payments globally for Swift, and the head of payment products for Ripple. Isn't it strange? Listen to this, whomever would have predicted that this would be the case, and then let's discuss the XRP. A pricing chart, people. Kalani Swift has been crucial to the smooth operation of banks and other cross-organizational systems. What will Swift look like in the future, and will you collaborate with various kinds of people? Of remedies that we learned about at Citi and Ripple to effectively address these are very interesting questions, so let's start with Permit Me to explain the worldwide reaction. Interoperability is a problem that is being discussed in 3 phases. Phase 1 focused entirely on domestic schemes, so you've got that was the first bunch, I think that sums it up well. Let's see if we can lower the friction. How do we achieve interoperability? There are instances such as Fed. You currently have several fantastic use cases with a PIX in Brazil and UPI in India. The following stage then focused mostly on countries cooperating on an interregional level and talking about how to connect our domestic programs in a cross-border way. Then comes the third phase, which is unquestionably very much interregional and involves various regions coming together and discussing how we connect up together to get to interoperability. There are things like BUA in the Middle East and BRICS. Additionally, Nexus is one example of this, and you frequently read news reports on various APAC and Middle Eastern groups. As a result, at Swift, we're particularly interested in the cross-border aspects of Phase 2. In Phase 3, we want to ensure that the industry isn't producing an excessive number of digital islands, and we want to be the network of networks. Of course, we're very agnostic about the actual form of money, and, what that's going to take, as well as the actual systems or modes of moving it around. Furthermore, we want to focus on interoperability between current and emerging networks across asset classes. So we work hard to keep you informed about market developments so that you can determine whether we are taking part in and supporting various initiatives or whether we conduct our experiments. And you're exactly right, so we had discussions about tokens, assets, and CBDCs with Pega and Ryan. We also experimented a lot in both areas because the market, as you know, has highlighted those as important next steps. What is the next method to achieve operability? Well, if you look at tokenization, you'll see that we began examining ways to connect tokenized platforms to various payment platforms as a single point of contact last year. We've been working with a group of banks for a little while now, and we first created a connector on the CBC side. They are conducting some experiments to see if they can use their current Swift infrastructure to, instruct the value of tokenized assets across multiple private and public blockchains. We conducted another round of sandboxing with a small number of folks to determine if this made sense, between fiat-based and DLT-based systems using the current financial rails. Is this the appropriate approach? The group's response was, yes, that makes sense. Let's move forward. Initially, we were just experimenting. However, after some central banks said, let me take your CBDC connector, We'll put it into our infrastructure and start doing some testing. We opened up a second phase of sandbox testing with a larger group of banks. These banks include commercial and central banks, and they are currently looking at different use cases related to FX and liquidity. Fascinating. Who would I have imagined we would see that day, then? We examined the XRP graph provided by Era. Simplify, Crypto Wave 2 Analyst. If the XRP you're searching for closes above 58 cents, Wave C's count of 5 waves will be void. You can either close over 58 cents or invalidate this pattern, which is more likely to be a running formation than an irregular regular. Wave C would stop another downward pressure push on XRP to the 40C region, or about 58 cents. We aim to reach the 1970s, and we also target the 1990s since we know what happens after that. Before you know it, we're considering the $150 range. Recall what I said earlier. Before, yes, I do sound like a broken record, but I prefer that way too. Since I enjoy making my point clear. It will be easier to imagine a 10x on XRP, which will raise it to a double digit, the closer we are to $1 before the bull run begins and before Bitcoin begins to go parabolic. Assessments 17 through 24 are still in progress. People, before we get to 58 cents, let's say that as the week draws to a close, it appears as though it might occur today.